Good afternoon, welcome back ladies, gents and Pikachus. This is a comment response to Shoomer88, not Scoomer88. I have two similar named audience members. This is Shoomer88. So he speculated in a very long comment stream, and then for some reason that comment stream disappeared, was completely deleted. He made some speculations on the nature of the Big Bang, which were wrong, which is probably why that comment no longer appears, which I corrected. And now he's making more assumptions in a new comment. He's assuming that I was the one that deleted the comment thread, even though it proved me to be right. I would have kept it. So what I'm going to do is refer you to a video I made a year ago which says the exact same thing that I was saying in that now deleted comment thread, which demonstrates how the Big Bang Theory works, including how the Big Bang Theory does not speculate how the original energetic speck, which the entire universe came out of, was created. All it does is start from that point where you already have an infinite speck, and then describes how it expands and creates everything. So it's not describing how energy was first created. It can't ever do that. It's describing how the original energy for the entire universe was at one point contained in a single unified speck of infinite density, and that expanded out over a period of time, and everything within it formed to make planets, stars, moons, suns, and everything else. But the one thing the Big Bang Theory cannot ever do, because it would break the laws of physics to do it, is explain how that initial energy came into being in the first place. Now, this is what we were discussing. He was making the point that things don't need to have a creative process or a creator, they can just exist. And I was saying there is no evidence for that. In fact, there's lots and lots and lots of evidence and testimony that that does not happen, and that absolutely everything that is on this planet that you've ever seen in your life and that I've ever seen in my life, everything has to have been created at some point. And the way that I will prove that to you, Shoomer88, is this. Find me an example. Find me one single example of something which you know and can prove that exists that was not created. That's what you said. You said that it doesn't need to necessarily be creation processes or a creator being. Things can just exist. Doesn't sound very scientific to me. This guy claims that he's been a physicist for 16 years, which I would now question based on stuff that he said in the now deleted conversation. So, Shoomer88, this is a challenge to you. You don't have to do it publicly. You can email me privately if you want, or you can put it in a comment. Please find me one example, just one, of anything ever that existed without having been created, or having a creative process or a creative being that made it. Just one thing. If you cannot, then we will have to conclude that you cannot have things which were not created. Even the Big Bang Theory agrees that. The Big Bang Theory says, and agrees with Einstein's theory of relativity, the conservation of energy, that energy is never created nor destroyed inside conventional physics. We cannot do that because it would break physics. So that means, as per the Big Bang description, all the energy that the universe will ever have already existed inside that original speck that expanded out, that included the whole universe. It doesn't, however, say how that speck came into being. But that's not to say that it didn't have a creator. That is science recognizing its limit and having enough humility to accept it will never know or be able to explain how that speck of energy came into being. It does not say, well, it was just always there, because that would break the laws of physics as well, because we know time has a beginning, which the Big Bang Theory speculated to be at the beginning of. So, in conclusion, your science, even though you're not going to want to hear it, is conclusively wrong. Physics prove that. And this is the reason why I now have grave doubts over you saying that you've been a physicist for 16 years. I don't believe that to be true. I believe you said that to give weight to your argument to make it emotively true for you because you were losing the logical proposition. Like, you know, the last guy that I ended up blocking would not back down, and he was doing that. He was going, oh, now we're not talking about people, now we're just specifically talking about babies, you know, because obviously babies is more emotive than people, and the logic behind people wasn't getting him where he needed to go. So he thought, I'll make it babies so I can say, you don't care about babies. That's effectively what you're doing here. And the fact that the conversation disappeared helps neither one of us, by the way, so I didn't do that. In fact, you said you had a screenshot. Please send me a screenshot or publish it to your community feed, and I will put it in a video so we can see that conversation in full and we can go through it in detail, because I stand by every single word that I said because it's true, and we will point out the errors that you made that you haven't had the humility to admit to. That you still don't admit to, as far as I can see. So anyway, in conclusion, no warnings or anything like that, even though you did kind of come off quite rude there, and you were gaslighting me, saying that I was being rude to you. I wasn't being rude to you, I was simply stating a fact that what you said was wrong, and because what you said was so obviously wrong and showed that you don't understand GCSE basic level physics, I don't believe that you are a physicist. That's not me being rude, that's me making a factual statement that based on your science errors, I now don't believe that you are a physicist like you made the claim of being, and now we have a precedent for you making false claims. And also you claim that I deleted the conversation, so that's 2 false claims you've made today, with no evidence to back them up, that are both going to end up being proven to be false. And as an extra thing, anyone who wants to know what I have been saying about the Big Bang, I made that video 12 months ago that explained this to the last person who argued with me about this exact thing in exactly the same way and ended up losing and deleting all their comments. That wasn't me either, although I got the blame for it on that occasion. That's the precedent that these guys set. Atheists, when they are found to be wrong, rather than just have the dignity and humility to admit, well, okay, I was wrong on this occasion, and learn the thing, they will invent this narrative that they are being oppressed in some way, that either me or someone else deleted the conversations, or science was wrong, or NASA's a lie, or some other ridiculous thing, rather than just admit that they were wrong. So if you care about the Big Bang Theory and understanding why it happened, how it happened, please, the link's in the description, go and watch that other Big Bang video. And for you, Mr. Shoomer88, please just try and be reasonable. I guarantee you, I did not delete that comment thread. I wanted it. It was good. You know, not because it showed you to be wrong either, it's just because it displayed a truth and it had the evidence in there. And it's now deleted. What probably happened actually is the original guy who made the comment that you had refuted was getting so bloody sick of the constant longer and longer and longer post to read that you kept posting these huge, like 4-page long essays which were just repeating the same point without giving a factual basis. He probably just got pissed off with that and thought, you know what, screw it, delete the whole thing. And this is another example of why I have my courtesy rules that say don't spam post, don't make like 1,000,000 points in a big 4-page long essay comment, make small, compact, precise comments, and make one at a time, using 1 point at a time, and if you get shown to be in error, admit it. Because that's the result. Other users of mine are now getting upset with reading my comments because of you spam posting because you won't admit that you made a mistake, which you did. So I hope that you learn from this. You don't take it personally or hold a grudge like so many other atheists seem to want to do. People get things wrong. It happens. It's not a big indicator that you are now stupid, whereas before you weren't. It's just a mistake. These things happen. But the reason why they keep happening is because people don't learn from them. So I hope that you learn from this, go back to the drawing board and learn about physics and how the Big Bang actually was described, rather than the way you were saying it was. Watch my other video and then check the sources. I supplied sources on my video. It wasn't just me speculating. I physically supplied all the sources. And this was before ChatGPT was a thing. So you can't even accuse me of using ChatGPT or Reddit like you did. By the way, that's probably why you're making so many science errors. Because you're not a physicist, but you're reading from someone on Reddit who claims they are one. And they're not either. So it's just a can of worms, and each worm is a mistake. So that's the end of this video. Hope you learn from that. Hope you look at that video, read the sources, and understand why the Big Bang Theory is probably correct. You know, I agree with it. but how it does not explain creation, and it doesn't even attempt to, and that is described in the thesis of the thing. So anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed that and you learned something. God bless you all, and I'll see you lovely people in the next one. And please, if you can, provide me an example of anything in reality that just appears out of nowhere, because you won't be able to. So that's all for now. God bless. See you next time. Dear Lord, please can you teach these atheists how to respectfully treat other forum users, and how to have the humility to just admit to mistakes that we all make. Every one of us does. Amen. So that's all for now. God bless you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.